It's been a little while since we last talked. We've finally moved into the house just a little over a week ago. There are a lot of little things still to do around the house. We haven't washed the windows yet. We received a certificate of occupancy to move in. There's still a great deal of work to be done on the exterior of the house. The certificate of occupancy allows us to move into the house knowing that construction still has to be completed on the exterior. We were still doing drywall the last time we talked, and since then we've completed the drywall, done the painting and the trim, and installed all of the appliances, and of course we've moved in as well, so all the plumbing and heating and electrical work has been done. And so we'll give you a little tour of the house, and you can see the completed product. Framed on the wall behind me are posters depicting an era of maybe the 30s and 40s, kind of a WPA era, showing posters of the national park system. As our kids were growing up, we visited nearly every national park in the United States on our summer vacation, something we really enjoyed doing. And that color palette is really what helped define what our entire house. And so this is kind of core to what we were doing here. We're looking at the windows in the living room, and these are facing due south. We have a lot of glass on the south side of the building, and you can see the sunlight on the floor there as it comes in. We're about 2 weeks past the vernal equinox, which is halfway between high summer and the middle of winter. And the windows are designed so that in the middle of summer, they're completely shaded at the windowsill, and in the middle of winter, we get full sunlight penetration almost halfway into the house. So we get a nice solar gain in the wintertime, and then we're shaded completely in the summertime. We're really happy with the way these windows came out and the contribution that they provide for us. This was particularly important to us. One of the reasons we moved here was because of the view that we would have of the natural landscaping. And we've just recently been able to get rid of this the stockpile of lumber that we've sent to the recycling station a couple weeks ago, and so the view has dramatically improved, and now we've got a big pile of topsoil yet to respread once we've got some of the work done on the outside. But we're very pleased with the way this turned out. I was looking around for hardware for the project and came across this rolling barn door hardware, and I knew I had to have it for the house. So we have this for a pantry and front hall closet. We're still waiting for the handles to come in, but we're pretty pleased with the way that came out as an architectural feature. In the kitchen, one of the things that we've needed to do for this house is to be as energy minded as possible. All of the appliances in the kitchen are Energy Star certified appliances. They're the most energy sipping that we could find for the house. So the refrigerator, the microwave, the stove, the dishwasher, everything in here is an energy conserving appliance. This is the nerve center of my company, Ecometrics. This room is just adjacent to the living room, and when I retire, will eventually become the dining room. We've divided the space with a pair of pocket doors. We don't have all the hardware on it quite yet, but we put in pocket doors because we wanted to keep the wall space open for artwork. The entire house has been designed to be barrier-free. All the doorways are 3 feet wide. The corridor we designed, I think, 3.5 feet wide. just to provide ample room. We have backer in the walls so that we can install grab bars at the toilets and in the shower. This particular shower is a 5-foot wide shower, which is a little bit unusual, and there is no threshold. It's just about flush with the finished floor, so a wheelchair can be driven right into it at some future date. This is the master bedroom. This is on the west end of the house. Again, on the south side we have the large windows. To allow for cross ventilation, we have a window, one small window on the west side, which will get shaded in the summertime, and we've got some tall trees on the west side of the house, and then one small window of equal size on the north side. So we'll have good cross ventilation in the summertime. We have several features in here that are relevant to LEED. The light fixtures, all of the light fixtures in the house are Energy Star rated light fixtures. We have a couple of exhaust fans in here because moisture control in the building is so vitally important. So we have one that just goes straight outside, but we also have one that's part of the energy recovery ventilation system. And we have a control in here in each of the bathrooms and the laundry room that allows for increasing the fan speed on the ERV and it's on a timer, so it'll last 20, 40, or 60 minutes depending on how many times you push the button on that. We also have low flow faucets and a low flow toilet for water conserving devices. We have 3 bedrooms in this home, 2 small bedrooms, one of which we're using as an office, and the other is a guest room. All of the bedrooms are on the south side. We have large window spaces in them for the solar gain, just as with the living room. We have only 2 ceiling fixtures in the whole house to minimize the number of penetrations through the building shell. And so we've installed wall fixtures, and again, all of the light fixtures are Energy Star fixtures, so that to minimize the electrical load that we need. We've got a compact washer and dryer. This is a condensing dryer. This is typical of what you would find in an apartment complex. Since it's really just the 2 of us, it suits us just fine. It might not necessarily be suited to a larger family. We've been very pleased with it so far. A condensing dryer had a couple of things that we liked about it, and that is that it doesn't need a hole through the wall of the house, which would have been another opportunity for air infiltration. A condensing dryer operates by condensing the moisture out of the clothes. So in the tumbling cycle, it applies heat, which helps remove moisture from the clothing. And then just like an air conditioner removes moisture from the air, that's what the condensing dryer does as well. It seems to do it in about a half an hour. So just as good or better than a standard dryer without having to take all of your conditioned air from inside the house and blowing it through a hole in the wall outside. So we've been very pleased with that. When it's done, we pull out this tray, which is full of the water that it's extracted. This is, I think, probably pretty close to distilled water, and we'll reuse this for watering plants. And you can just dump that out. We've installed LED lighting. There's a ribbon of lights in here that's about maybe 1/4 of an inch wide and about 1/8 of an inch thick, that runs along underneath the cabinets here. I think probably the entire length of this is about 21 watts. And this ribbon lighting you can cut with a pair of scissors to length in about 3-inch increments, so it's very user-friendly. This is one of the heating manifolds that distributes heating and cooling through the floor in one section of the house. and I just installed an access cover to cover it up. We're in the laundry room here still, and so we can adjust the flow rates to various zones throughout the house, and this is just one area where we can get access to it. We've been down here a few times before. Not a lot has changed. We've got a little bit of paint on the walls, and we've added a little bit more ductwork. I wanted to get fresh air supply and return down in the basement, so they've added a little bit more ductwork here. But it's been operating very efficiently. We're very pleased with the functionality of the equipment here. Well, we're in the garage. It's changed a little bit since the last time you were in here. We've finished it and painted it. This will be the first time in 32 years that I've been able to park inside. So I'm really happy to be able to do that and not have to dust snow off my car. I've designed the garage to serve as my workshop also. We've insulated the space, although we won't be heating it normally, so that we could throw a little electric heater in here and warm the place up if I wanted to work on a project in the wintertime. We have a well-insulated garage door. One of the features that we've designed into the space is an exhaust fan that is tied into the overhead garage door. When the overhead garage door opens up, the exhaust fan on the wall behind me turns on, and it creates a negative air pressure in the garage here, so that any carbon monoxide that comes in from the automobiles is exhausted to the outside, and it will not go into the house. We have a carbon monoxide detector just inside the house, just inside the back door, so that if any does get in the house, we can detect it. It's a requirement of LEED to have carbon monoxide detectors. You can get carbon monoxide from any combustion device, so hot water heaters, gas-fired hot water heaters and furnaces and so on, but we don't have any combustion devices inside. The only thing that could possibly be a contaminant would be our automobiles, and so we've put that safety device in there as a measure to determine what the air quality is from any possible contaminants coming from the garage. So we'll demonstrate that. We're pretty pleased with everything the way it came out. I think on the whole of the project as a whole, everything has met or exceeded our expectations. There might be a couple of things that we would have done differently, knowing what we know now about how things went together, just because it would have been easier to construct it in a different way. And I'll probably write something up about that in a future blog. But we're really very pleased with the way things came out.